The recommendations for children's physical activity are 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day and at least 3 times per week of muscular and bone strengthening activities, where skipping is a great example. The recommendations for schools are to provide 150 minutes of planned physical activity per week, when the recommendation was 120 minutes in 2012. When schools were surveyed, only 70% of schools were providing that 120 minutes per week. Now that it's gone up to 150 minutes per week, I would imagine that number may be significantly smaller. There are a variety of risks involved in children not meeting their recommended physical activity levels, from health consequences of increased risk of cardiovascular disease, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, and various other metabolic markers are significantly enhanced. And physical inactivity is a modifiable risk factor in terms of many lifestyle diseases. To encourage teachers and schools to meet the requirement of 150 minutes of planned physical activity per week, we would recommend that active transport is encouraged, so walking, riding to school. We would recommend that PE is sufficiently moderate to vigorous, and the recommendations are that 50% of a PE lesson should be where the children should be engaged in moderate to vigorous physical activity, which is quite a hard thing for teachers to manage due to instruction time, getting prepared. We would encourage children to be active at recess and lunch. We would encourage school sport and after-school sport, and I think one of the most successful strategies to integrate physical activity across the existing curriculum. A simple example to incorporate skipping into a maths lesson may be to make learning significant for children. So if I was learning about the concept of time and tenths and hundredths of seconds, I might take something like the Usain Bolt's world record for the 100 metres and the fact that he can run 100 metres in 9.54 seconds. I might get the children to skip progressively and see how far they can actually skip in 9.55 seconds and stop, put the rope down, estimate how far they've actually travelled. We could actually use that to teach children about the importance of percentages out of 100, with there being a 100-metre race, or we could probably use it to teach about decimals as well. Making that learning significant is a huge effect on a child's understanding and real life experiences. Jump rope for heart is an excellent example of how an intervention and a programme that's in school could have a huge benefit on a child's academic performance. By embedding some of those skipping activities across the curriculum, we would hopefully encourage children to be more on task and consolidate some of those key learning objectives from English, maths, science, etc.